Yeah, I was reading Stephen Howson's tweet after the United game, and that is something that I wanted to bring out. So there were a lot of rumors about being joint top and all those goal difference and all that. So joint top, no, no, top, top, bro, top, top. Let's
Top,
go,
top.
let's go.
Hello and welcome to another episode of FPL Escapades. My name is Kshitij and I'm joined by Akshay and Anand to view the FPL assets going into the first double game week for game week 19. Akshay, Anand, welcome back, boys. How is blank game week 18 going for you guys? Akshay?
Oh yeah, going pretty okay, I would say, because I'm currently on 37 points, and although that might sound a little low, but I still see green arrows, so couldn't ask for more, and still have holding to play, so hoping to cross maybe 40 points, and yeah, that was my target for this game week. 40, yeah, it might sound again very low, but yeah, that's how the game week has been, and Bruno not firing for a change, but who cares? Top of the table, bring it on.
Top of the table indeed. Top of the table indeed. 40 points is something that if I get right now, given that only one game is left between Arsenal and Crystal Palace, I'll be very happy. I'm at 26. None of my keepers played. Kevin De Bruyne did pay off as captain, so that is the only saving grace. Hopefully, Saka, Bellerin, and Mitchell. I have three more to play. Hopefully, Mitchell starts and does return some points. Anand, how has your game week been so far?
So I'm at 31 right now, but I also took a hit to get in Cancelo for ailing. And because of that, my grand total for this game week as of now is 27, but I have Smith Rowe left. So I'll be pretty surprised if I cross 40 this game week. But yeah, I think even if I reach 30, that would be great because even with 27, I am seeing green arrows as of now. So yeah, this was a really disastrous game week again, uh, especially because I had planned so long for this game week with bringing in all the Villa assets and even got in Aguero and Martinelli. But Martinelli and Aguero are injured or isolating, and Villa has a blank. So it was really difficult to maneuver at the last moment. But I just simply, shipped out Aguero, got in Cavani, which is, you know, Cavani giving 2 points is now, I feel like it's still fine. It could have been zero if I had if I was stuck with Aguero. And now Martinelli is out and I've gotten Smith Rowe, so let's see how that goes. And regarding the defense, where I shipped out Ailing and got in Cancelo, I would still take the returns because if I would have kept Ailing, he would have given me zero because he has a blank game week and Cancelo gave uh, Cancelo gave 6 points last night. So 6 minus 4 is still two. So two in the given circumstances is still fine, I guess. But yeah, it was just about dodging this game week somehow and ensuring that you finish above average. And as of now, feel that if Smith Rowe does return, I'll easily finish above average.
Yeah, absolutely. I am at 26, seeing red arrows. Hopefully, the three assets that remain to play do bring in some luck and some points with that. And also, boys, with that, I think it's time to jump into the game week 19 assets. We have a lot to talk about, a lot of double game weeks in the coming week. So, yeah, we start off our weekly agenda by looking at the essentials for game week 19. So looking at the essentials for game week 19, I think United, Spurs, City, and West Ham have good fixtures. United do play Liverpool, but Liverpool in the second game play Burnley, whereas United play Fulham. So a lot of debate in my head as to go with either Martial or Kane. I did end up getting Martial in the blank game week 18 and doubled up on United with Bruno and Martial. So I'm planning to sticking on them. Bruno does feel that he's dipping down in form a little, but that being said, I'm not really sure that if it is a dip in form because he's been contributing. He's contributed 34 goals in 30 odd games or vice versa. But yeah, definitely Bruno and Martial are somebody to absolutely hold on to. Talking about defenders, I have Stones in my team already from City, but Cresswell does seem to be very lucrative, given that the likes of Size can be shipped out, given that Wolves' form is not really great anymore. Anand, what do you feel about the essentials going into double game week 19? Are there any particular teams that you're targeting or any assets that you have in mind?
I think I agree with you on the picks that you just mentioned over here. And the teams that really want to target are United and City. Both got double fixtures in this game week. And even though United, like you pointed out again, playing Liverpool, the kind of defense that Liverpool has, I wouldn't be surprised if United can score. And also United uh, will not be under pressure, while Liverpool will be in a little bit of a pressure. But yeah, again, since it's a pressure match, it might be a cagey affair. But for that to happen, Liverpool has to play a really defensive game, which is not probably how Klopp likes to play. Klopp does likes to attack and will leave a lot of space in behind, and that would really benefit the creative force of United. Because one thing is for sure, United has a better creative team than Liverpool, and just because of one man, and that's Bruno Fernandes. That guy in the midfield just changes the whole dynamics of this fixture. But yeah, United this season, they played Chelsea, they played Arsenal, they played City. So whenever they played the big teams, it has been a really cagey affair. All the teams like to shut their shops and just want to preserve that clean sheet. Apart from that, I think Cancelo is somebody that I've been really interested in since a long time, especially because when it comes to defenders, he has the highest key passes per 90 minutes, and that is something that I really like about him. And not just Cancelo, but Martinez for this game week looks like a really good pick to have. So Villa players are a little bit of a doubt, especially because we don't know right now who all will be isolating for the double game week. And also there's concern that Villa's match against Everton will be postponed. But there's some good news as well that if Everton gets postponed, there's a slight chance that Villa will be playing Newcastle this game week. So if Villa is playing at Martinez is not self-isolating, I think that is also a really good choice over there, especially because Martinez is playing Newcastle, and that's kind of a really juicy fixture for him. So that would be my picks, boys. What about you, Akshay? Who do you want to go with regarding the essentials?
Oh yeah, I also like the teams that you're planning to target, being the both the Manchester sides. So another team that I'd like to maybe put in that bracket is West Ham. So they have two decent fixtures against.
They're playing Burnley and West Brom.
Okay, so yeah, like pretty good fixtures if you want to look at defensive assets like Sufal and Cresswell maybe, because they both offer a lot going forward as well, and that is where my eye is right now. So if Aston Villa do have a fixture postponed, and if the Newcastle fixture does not fit into game week 19, because I've also read rumors about that fixture being moved into game week 20 if we hear about the postponement after the deadline. So that's where my eye is on maybe removing Martinez and getting in Fabianski, because he has a solid double game week, and Aston Villa as a team, that's not a place to go right now, because we do not know which players are affected and which players are isolating. So even when they are eligible to play matches, you don't have that clarity. So that is where I will rather stay away from from Martinez and Grealish. So those are my two players that I hold right now, and although they do have a double game week, but that's not nailed on right now. So coming to United, the only concern with Bruno Fernandes I have right now is he's on four yellows. So if he does manage to get a booking in the Liverpool game, which is quite possible because it will be a heated game, and Bruno Fernandes, you know how passionate he's been on the pitch and fighting with referees and fighting with opposition players. So he just needs to be careful when it comes to our FPL teams, because a suspension for him will mean a lot for us FPL managers. So great to see that Pogba is like stepping up when Bruno is not playing well. So
Yeah, absolutely. And kudos to Ole as well as how well he actually handled Pogba's situation after Mino Raiola's comments on Pogba wanting to leave United. And yeah, definitely we have a lot to look forward to as us United fans for the first time in a long, long time when we are above Liverpool and top of the table. A PE teacher, yeah, per se on top of the table. So definitely it's going to be a great game and a great game week as well. As far as Bruno is concerned, I think I might refrain from captaining him personally because he's on four yellow cards, as Akshay you spoke about it. And definitely, I neither do I care if he gets a fifth yellow or not. But definitely, I'm going to maintain safe distance and not captain him. But that thinking is still left to be done. And with that, we have spoken about all the usual suspects in essentials. Now it's time that we move to the differentials for game week 19. So right when I look at the differentials, Anand, I see your pick Cavani here, but somebody who really catches my eye when we talk about differentials is Antonio. He's back from injury, has a really good double game weeks, plays Burnley and West Brom both at home. Uh, Definitely somebody to look forward to. I might have enough money to ship out Brewster for Antonio if I am able to do that. I'll have only one free transfer going into double game week 19. So definitely that is my transfer that I'll be targeting. If I in any way can I get Antonio or maybe Kufal for say Sayas or somebody like that. Definitely I'm targeting West Ham. Their form looks good. Last game week they beat Everton as well. Uh, took the 3 points home. Have great games in the upcoming game week as well. Uh, from City, I don't think I'm either gonna go with any differential midfielder because last night also Sterling missed a penalty, and that definitely would have hurt a lot of managers who might have got him in for free hit. Akshay, what do you think about the differential going into double game week?
Yeah, I also like the Antonio pick because ever since his 26-point haul, if I'm not wrong, in the last season, he's been a FPL legend in the FPL community as well. So we all know what Antonio can do, and the only concern we have with him is he's coming back from a long injury, and he does not have minutes under his belt. So he was involved in the cup games for West Ham, but he I think he got only 30 minutes out. So very risky for a double game week player because I don't see him playing the entire 180. Surely not 180. Very it'll be much lesser. But if you want a player for a double game week, you'd ideally want someone who'd start both games and maybe see out the 60 minutes. So that's where Antonio's minutes are a little doubtful. Coming to midfielders, I think Sterling, although despite the penalty miss, there was a comment from Pep Guardiola that the only reason why De Bruyne did not take was because he was tired, and he was happy that Sterling actually wanted to take it and he missed it. So he also ended the statement with he will finish it next time. So I don't know what that means. Like, does that mean he gets a next time? So I surely hope he does not because him on penalties is a huge worry for Kevin De Bruyne owners because De Bruyne owners were laid back on their sofas when they realized that he was on penalties. So because he's not finishing those one-on-one chances for a change, not sure what's happening with him on front in front of goal because De Bruyne usually he's a lethal finisher, and we saw that with Phil Foden yesterday. So another shout out that I want to give is our boys have been doing an amazing job on creating the player review series. So in the last episode, they spoke about famous partnerships, and Suryansh brought up Kevin De Bruyne and Phil Foden, and what a delight to see both of them combining for the first goal. So yeah, do all of our listeners do watch out for the series coming up for the next game week as well. So coming to defenders, I do have Holding, and I am not sure if I'm going to play him ahead of Justin because Justin has a double game week. So let's see where that tinkering goes on. Yeah.
Good points as well. Anand,
Like I said last week as well, that two of the weaklings in my team are Ailing and Lewis, and I really want to get rid of them. And I got rid of Ailing last week, and this week it's gonna be Lewis. He was not in the matchday squad, so even if he plays in the double game week, because he'll be returning from injury. So I'm not 100% sure about him, either making the bench or starting. Plus, at the same time, Newcastle's defensive woes continue. They couldn't even beat Sheffield United, and Sheffield United won the first match of the Premier League against Newcastle this season. So, yeah, but again, coming to the picks here, my pick, as I really like this guy, is Cavani. Again, games. A, a concern like Antonio a little bit, especially because of his minutes, whether Cavani will get minutes or not, because there is competition from Greenwood and Martial. But what I calculated was even in these 3 game weeks, counting the blind game week as well, if Cavani gets an average of 60 minutes per match, I think it's pretty decent for him because of the kind of finisher he is. He was a little rusty in the last match against Burnley, but he did have some great chances and he also created, and he's a workhorse. So, like I've always emphasized on, I do like players. I do like players to bring in my FPL team if I trust them a lot, and I trust Cavani a lot. And that's one. Jesus could be a great pick as well. And I think you guys have already mentioned some great picks over there. The concerns about Villa that Akshay mentioned in the essential section is valid too, and because of that, El Ghazi might be a risk. But yes, if there is a slight hint, if the likes of El Ghazi is fit, then why not? If the news is out before the deadline of game week 19, then he could be a decent punt as well. But I really like the Sofal and the Castania pick here. Castania is sort of like the Doherty of last season. He makes great movements inside the box, and not to just look for a pass, but also to kill it and finish to score a goal. So that's something. And Leicester has a double game week, even though they're playing Chelsea. One of the matches is against Chelsea, but still, I would really, if there is money in the bank, I could go look there as well. And so far, with 2 great fixtures against Burnley and West Brom, is another standout pick for this game week. While yeah, that's mostly about it. But my money from these picks would be on Cavani, uh, especially because he's just an awesome player and he's very very lethal in front of the goal.
Yeah, absolutely. And we would require him to be lethal in front of the goal come game week 19 when we face off Liverpool. I mean, I'm already jittery and really excited. The game is like a week away, but definitely can't really wait for all the banter and to watch some really exciting and good football. Great pick, boys. Great talk about the differentials going into the next game week. And now we come to our final section looking at the cheap assets, the cheap FPL assets going into the double game week 19. Yeah, so I think game weeks like the double game week 19 will actually be turning, either a red arrow into a green arrow or a arrow into a red arrow, depending on your cheap selections of the FPL assets. Because essentials, I think, like I know 18 game weeks have passed, so there is a template right now which has been created for the essential players. So looking at but when you want to really fill in your team, when you playing your bench boost or a luxury fourth or fifth substitute that you might want to have in your team, these are the players that you look forward to. And for some reason, again, when I look at West Ham United's fixtures, it is very hard for me to look anywhere far from Suchek. 5 goals, 1 assist, great returns in the recent game weeks as well. I've had people in my mini leagues have him, and I made me suffer for not having him. I went for Saka over Suchek. Till now, it has paid off. I hope that it pays off this game week as well. So either if I can make money in my team for Antonio. If not Antonio, I think Saka to Suchek might be the straight swap that I'm willing to do going into the double game week 19. If like Akshay, great point about Antonio's minutes might be managed. And in defense, I already have Stones. I'm really happy with one City defense. I think I'm not the one to double up on a single team. It's all right. I mean, the City gave us a clean sheet, and many managers got 12 points out of Cancelo or Stones, Cancelo, Diaz, that kind of a combination. But I'm really happy with just Stones, and might want to invest in a third City asset in the midfield or in the forward, like I've spoken about 3 or 4 couple game weeks back, that really looking forward to Aguero making his return. So from cheapies, I think Stones I already have. I do not really have a lot of cheap players in my defense. I have Mitchell, who by God's grace keeps playing, starting ahead of PVA. But I'm really happy with Saka as well. So I the only thing that I'll be tinkering about going into the game week 19 with one free transfer is looking at Antonio, how his minutes are managed, or doing a straight swap from Saka to Suchek if Saka fails to perform this game week, because he faces Southampton, sorry, Newcastle next game week. So I really don't know. I might have to read between the lines. Anand, what are your thoughts about the cheap assets for double game week 90?
Well, I kind of am, I have fixed my template where I kind of know what are the players that really want in my team and how much do I expect them in terms of returns. So in terms of cheapies, I am really looking at Bamford. I'm really looking at Dallas. So Dallas plays Brighton, and he has been in sensational form this season. Even in terms of returns, be it goals, assists, and clean sheet. In terms of returns, he has even outperformed the likes of Robertson. So that's where I'm really inclined towards. He is somebody who looks really nailed, uh, and be it playing as a left back or ahead in the midfield, he looks like a really good pick for me. But I also have Johnson in my team, which probably will be his last game week only because he's playing a double game week this weekend. And other than that, I also have Smith Rowe. So Smith Rowe is just a luxury for me, the cheapest luxury I can afford at just 4.5. I was I was looking at all the 4.5 or below options, and I felt like as of now he has form with him, and why not just ride with it? Just like how even Gabriel says. So he looks in form, and he's playing number 10 as well. But yeah, Suchek, Saka, really great picks. And Stones again, a lovely pick this season, has already been rewarding a lot of FPL managers. That's mostly from my end. Akshay, what's your take regarding the GPs? Any particular player that you really want to bring in your team if you don't have, or the ones that you already have in your team?
Yeah, like ideally, when you look at this list, you would have been very happy to look at it going into double game week 19. But ever since the Southampton and Leeds game has been postponed, all the wildcard planners have been like rubbed into the mud because all of them had tripled up on Leeds and Southampton. So none of them have a double game week anymore. And I personally, I'm also lucky there because I was planning to go that route back in game week 15 or 14 if I'm not wrong. So my target was to bring in a couple of Leeds players for their double game week, and thankfully I did not decide to do that. So really happy I did not go that way. And yeah, I personally do not want to jump into Leeds and Southampton assets right now because their double game week is cancelled. So yeah, Suchek is my punt if you want to go ahead with a double game week cheapy midfielder because they do not have Haller anymore. So their sole focal point of aerial attacks and winning those aerial duels is Suchek. So Antonio, he likes to play off Suchek. We've seen that earlier as well. I think that partnership could be something to see in the double game week if Antonio gets his minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a lot of chat about double game week 19, and I'm sure there's a lot more tinkering to left to be done, given that we have been living in such unfavorable times, and you never really know what's going to happen with the football matches and the players, like teams like Aston Villa and now Southampton and Leeds, and the entire fixture might go for a six. Yeah, but with that, I mean, that is the name of the game, and that is the time that we've been living in for the past 1 year. A blank game week 18, still one game to go, Arsenal versus Crystal Palace. Hopefully that brings us some luck, that brings all of our listeners some luck, should you have any asset remaining. And with that, boys, it's yet again been an amazing time talking to you about the first double game week of this season. Hopefully, some double game weeks and blank game weeks still to go, so that all of us who have all of our chips intact may get a good time to use it. Or to all of our listeners and supporters, thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this video, do give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. It really helps us as an upcoming channel. Please follow us on social media. All of our links are in the description box down below. We hope you enjoyed this one. Thank you and have a good day. And as always, may the arrows be green.